then, out of nowhere, this famine and drought starts to spread across the land. Rivers dry up, crops die, and well, you know how it goes.
For the Famine and Drought montage, I really wanted to establish that this kingdom is devoid of color and very sepia tone. Obviously, I was really inspired by The Wizard of Oz or, even Star Wars. Any story where the hero has to leave their dusty farm and go on an adventure. For this shot, we knew we wanted to try some cloud tank effects, but that was about it. This river shot went through a few different versions. We initially had it drying up very quickly, and then we came up with this idea for a dock where we were going to use some leftover wood from Margaret's cabin, and that became the basis of the shot with a little pulley system for our bucket to lift up in the air. And for the last one, I wanted to have all these people working in the field and the crops just kind of die right before our eyes. But what it boiled down to in the end was just needing something to establish that this famine and drought had spread across the land, almost like a curse. Once we had the villagers in the studio, we showed them the concepts, and we actually had them kneeling for these low angle shots just because the green screen wasn't that tall, but you can't tell.
Got it.
The river dries up.
Then we made sure that our bucket trick was going to work.
Famine and drought spreads across the land, and rivers dry up.
Yes, great. Got that. What's that?
And then Jesse and Alex here, who we actually met at the Breckenridge Film Festival, they came down to Vegas to be the villagers for this shot.
And to each other.
I wanted to keep this one in here just so you can see that not every idea works out. I was going to have the leaves disappearing off the trees almost like magic, and in the end it was just too complicated, so we ended up not doing it this way. In 2019, we met the Stevens brothers at the Breckenridge Film Festival, and we loved their work, and we knew we wanted to collaborate at some point, so we hit up Alex about shooting some cloud tank elements. This is an old technique that started with Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Ironically, the day that we met on Zoom to talk about it, we found out that Doug Trumbull had passed away. This guy was a pioneer. Him and Scott Squires did the effects for Close Encounters, and he worked on a ton of amazing movies, so we understood the significance of what we were doing. Basically how it works is you start with a tank, fill the bottom with salt water, and then using a plastic divider, you fill the top half with fresh water, remove the divider, and pour in paint, or in this case, milk, and the difference in density causes it to spread out like moving clouds when it hits that layer of salt water. So he gave us a bunch of different options, and in the end, we were really happy with how it turned out. So for this shot, I knew the leaf thing wasn't going to work, so I started doing a forward camera move and actually made these trees with AI. That's right, grab your pitchforks. And they didn't look very good either because they were still two-dimensional in a 3D space. So I decided I was going to make an actual 3D object, a tree, out of clay and foam, using these little plastic branches we got off Amazon. And then we painted the whole thing, but it looked too shiny at first, so Rachel did a touch-up with a darker color of brown. And lo and behold, that still wasn't going to work because we didn't have a dolly track, and we were trying to do this motion control thing on a treadmill, and I'd have to pick it up every time it got to the end of the treadmill before it fell off. So I made this thing for tracking markers to give to our makeup artist, Angela, who also knows how to use Blender, and that's how we ended up doing this shot. Then we patched together the cloud tank footage and added birds, trees, our villagers, and then the final color correction. On this one, we took the bucket and repositioned it, and then our key map painter, Yash, did the background and the river. And then we added this extra camera move and applied the grainy film look. And for the final shot, Yash made the castle and the whole city in Blender and gave it to us in separate layers so we could add the atmosphere, and once again, finish it off with the dehancer filter. So we're finally starting to take the videos from our Instagram and put them up here on YouTube. So it would really help us out if you like and subscribe to the channel. And stay tuned because we're going to be posting more VFX breakdowns and behind the scenes videos very soon. So thanks for watching.